So hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever big Minecraft event that we're doing on the server. I've got with me here all the guys, and this is actually a post-commentary kind of thing because I didn't really like the original commentary that I put together. But essentially what we've got is, I think 11 people total, including myself, all lined up for a big PvP event. And this event is split into two sections. There is the first one is sort of a horrible underground lava world, and the second one is sort of a horrible underground ice world. And the guys, as it turned out, didn't like the ice world as much. But in any case, here they are being just destructive and destroying the garden tower, which is our big hub thing. But anyway, though, I suppose I should explain the rules. There are 12 portals that we will be going to here in just a moment, and each portal leads to a separate space in this world that we're going to. And each little space has its own special item, and all the items were useful, except for Exy of Not wound up with some kind of weird thing, where somehow I put in, like, lapis blocks and a fence. And that was the only treasure chest that was accidentally not useful. But I didn't know that was the case. And you see here we've got the first world is called Duzak, and so this portal leads to the entryways for Duzak. And I believe we had some issues, actually. I think Binlal had some trouble getting in, and for that matter, you can't see very well, because this is down here in the void. There's actually no floor, so if you fell through that glass, you would just fall into the void. I thought that would be kind of an ominous start to a rather dark and broody sort of PvP. We got Caped Avenger, of course, the Caped Killer, Deathcon, Daniel is what he preferred, Kenza was there, Takada, the Kalspar with the leaf is actually what he prefers, Exy of Not, Naga, who else have we got? I looked at the thing in the beginning, CF, of course, Master CF. Let's see if we go Quaker Assassin, of course, Binlal, someone there, vanished. But yeah, we had a problem. Binlal went to the wrong portal, and then his internet timed out or something else, and so we struggled a bit with that. And in any case, though, when this is done, and I'm hoping I don't know for sure, but what the plan is for the guys to send me their own recorded videos and commentary, and then I'm gonna compile that, and with Kenza together, we're gonna sit down. We're gonna do sort of a sports commentary. We're gonna highlight like the most interesting things that happened, close calls, places where people got killed, and whatnot. And make that kind of engaging and fun to watch, rather than just having them all be like an ongoing commentary like the one that you see here. And here's Binlal is trapped in front of another portal. But anyway, yeah, it'll be a little bit more engaging than just the running commentary. But of course, with the benefit being that but the action doesn't stop until the action stops. However, the game does go on for about 2 hours, so we would have to break up the commentary. Probably into either just the most interesting parts, or we would break it up into several episodes. I don't know yet, though. I haven't seen stuff from everybody. I've got stuff from Caped Avenger and Binlal right now. And yes, here I am rescuing Binlal. And then we had a bit of a Leroy Jenkins right off the start, where Binlal shows up, and then I believe we will see him here immediately run into the portal before we say go. So there was that, and then I just gave the order, go, everyone go, wherever, you know. It's too late now. So yeah, it didn't affect anything though. So let's see, everyone's all lined up. Takada is actually really good at this game. He's been on the server and he's put together some incredible stuff. We've got like railways that span just ridiculous lengths. He's the one who's building that mountain in one of our videos. He's done some crazy stuff. Him and Brian, who goes by Lupinator. Brian also, he's the one who built most of Garden Tower, and he's also built a lot of the walls around the city. As of right now, as we have a little spawn town. Gosh, I cannot remember for the life of me what I was doing here. I guess we didn't immediately rush in. I think we're just like, well, Binlal's lost. He's chosen his spot. He's gonna go live there. We weren't too broken up about it. It's actually a really terrible place. Most of the deaths involved creatures and falling. So, yeah, he didn't really get like a good head start. But anyway, though, here we are in the place. So yes, we have one treasure chest, and there is an item in it. Mine was not the best of items, or not at least the one that I wanted. I got seeds, and it didn't occur to me that you could use bone meal to create grass. was one thing I didn't think about. And so the seeds are not really like the most useful deal, especially because they need, well, bone meal or water to grow, and you have to go out of your way for that. But anyway, though, I got this book. It says each of you has been granted 1 torch, 1 sapling. The chest this book was found in, and a single item that you will find useful. While you're in Dazak, it's advised that you don't dig directly down. Please do not exploit any holes in the ceiling if a chunk should fail to generate correctly, except to use the sunlight. This is the only rule. Good luck. And that was because the map generator occasionally had issues where the ceiling wouldn't generate, and you could escape. And there was also one other problem, is that we have a boundary program set up so that you can't leave a certain boundary. But in this map, which has a lot of like walls and whatnot, it got confused and somebody got bounced out of the map at one point, which he didn't lose. It was at the very end, so we just kind of like brought him back in and then moved him. But yes, it did turn out to be a pretty good sort of arena, although a little bit creepy. I was very cautious to start with, but I actually came up with this idea based off of something that I saw from a group called Ultra Hardcore, which is another Minecraft server where they do PvP events. And I thought I would very much like to do that sort of thing. That looks like a lot of fun. And but one thing that bugs me, though, is sometimes those guys, what they'll do is they'll sort of just hole up and like live someplace, and they don't really go out and explore and look for other people. And that, I think, is not very fun. So, yeah, I kind of get myself established and then lose my mind. Oh, also, too, it's dark. If you hadn't noticed, it's very dark. It's my own fault, really. I think I've got it set to moody lighting or something like that. So, we are nice and aesthetically pleasing for the audience. If you'd like to believe that that is true, which maybe it's not. But yes, I do quite a lot of digging and then get just stupid. But anyway, though, in the meanwhile, as I do my digging, I thought I might talk about some things. One of them was just we got more copyright news going on in the world of ponies and everything else, just the whole Let's Play stuff, and that's come up on my channel. I mentioned Nintendo has done a thing. They've kind of decided that they want to take over all the Let's Play videos of their stuff, and I don't think it's actually illegal. I think that I'm pretty sure that it's the opposite of legal. I think it's illegal, but contractually speaking, they're allowed to do that, because this is the way that things work on YouTube. Is because you have to think, put it in this perspective. The Let's Plays and reviews and everything that Nintendo is claiming as their own and like profiting from now, that's commentary on their work, and so Nintendo is coming to own commentary on their work, and they're able to decide what commentary they want to keep, what commentary they don't want to keep. They're making money off of it. It's kind of like a total perversion of the law. Like, it's really not supposed to work that way at all, because it's really dangerous to let companies do that. But the reason why YouTube is able to do that is not because they have legal rights to these commentary. It's because YouTube has a private legal system that they work with. So YouTube, when you sign up with them and you make a video for them, you sign their terms of service, and their terms of service say, like, we own the rights to they basically, like, we can do whatever we want with this video. Like, you maybe kind of have the rights, but we can give this to another company if we want. And from what I read, something that they do, and this is sadly more common than you'd think, is they will hand videos over to third-party entities that don't necessarily own stuff, but they do it because there's a contractual agreement. Like, you know, you'll pay a certain amount of ad revenue, and then in response we'll let you, like, make these claims on these videos. And no, really, like, there are videos where there are certain companies, like, if you get a content ID match and you try to dispute it, you can fight it all the way to the very end, to the DMCA. You can risk a lawsuit, you can do everything, and at the end YouTube sends you back a notice just saying that due to contractual reasons they can't release the claim on your video. So what it comes down to is, right now Nintendo stock is not doing very well. If you look at their 5-year reports, they're kind of flailing, and this is why they're going to these Let's Players, and they're taking the Let's Play revenues because they need the money, and or they feel they need the money. They feel they need the money. They don't actually need it. They want the money, and yeah. So like I say, it's kind of a slap in the face to anyone who does the Let's Plays, because the really good ones, they take a while. I can tell you, even the stuff that I've been putting out lately, it's not just a sit down for 15 minutes and you're done kind of thing. It's a lot of effort. All of it is. I mean, anything that gets popular, like those guys that just do really good, I don't think that any of them just sit down and like 15 minutes of work, 15 minutes of output. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of cleaning. You've got to prepare all your stuff. There's a guy like called Proton John SA, and he does like what he calls like in-flight movies during Superman 64 Let's Plays, and that's another one too. Like you think like Superman 64, one of the worst games in history according to some places. Imagine if every single review that came out about Superman 64 was owned by the company that produced Superman 64. Like, we wouldn't have all those hilarious articles that really pointed out how terrible of a game that was. In fact, we'd probably have a bunch of articles saying that it was really good and encouraging you to buy it, and people would maybe fall for the trap. Which again is why Nintendo's not supposed to be able to own commentary on their stuff. Because it is legal for you to take a product and then show yourself using that product for that product's particular intent, and then commentating on your experience with the product. It's fine. Like I say, it's all politics that go beyond the law. It really has nothing to do with copyright. And in fact, actually, the fact that Nintendo is taking people's work on their own is probably in its own. It could be a copyright violation that they're committing. As there's been some talk among some lawyer groups saying that, like, with this sort of thing, I mean, technically Nintendo is seizing stuff that they don't own and then profiting from it without the permission of the copyright holders, and YouTube's terms of use sort of circumvent this, but it's not really, like I say, it's legal, and so it's not totally cut and dry. But this is the kind of thing where, like, Nintendo could be looking at losing $150,000 if there were maybe a class action lawsuit that took place over this kind of thing. But it's also not the first time that this sort of thing has happened. Sega once crashed a large body of Let's Play channels by making all their Sonic games illegal to film over. So yeah, so. And then that actually had such a terrible backlash, they had to come out and apologize later. So we might see that same thing from Nintendo. Although it's hard to say. But certainly, though, if Nintendo sticks to what they're doing, they're going to see a huge drop-off in promotional videos for their stuff, because people aren't going to want to touch Nintendo. That's the one thing that's probably going to happen for sure. And I did mention that this has some pertinence to the pony community as well, for those of you who like the colorful ponies, the ponuses. Sureclop Pones just recently got, actually a lot of people in the pony community just got hit by more copyright shenanigans. What happened was, it looks like Hasbro has finally decided to do a universal takedown on any video that has their IP in it that the content ID will identify. That means that everyone who had pony videos on file that they didn't delete when they got that first warning, those people are either dead, or they have copyright strikes. They've lost their ability to monetize. And again, these are people who do like reviews and commentary on the show, where they discuss like, where's the show going, what are they doing, like what are the business decisions that are being made, stuff like that, where they're actually really like doing a service. Everyone is going down, not just the parody guys. That's because, once again, YouTube just hands everything over to the company. They say you own all the commentary on all of your stuff. It's just a very borked system. And so that brings me to my next point, is I've had some people talking about the Nintendo thing. They're like, oh, Nintendo isn't really, they're not shutting anyone down, so there's no danger. And that's the thing, is that Hasbro initially wasn't shutting anyone down, and there was no danger. They were just making things, like you could still see them in Europe. You could still see videos, pony videos in Europe when Hasbro shut you down. All it takes is a small change in policy, just for someone at headquarters to say, you know what, this is dangerous to our IP, we should just shut it down. And boom, everyone with one of those videos, they're dead. You no longer own your videos. Once the content ID gives your videos to someone else, you no longer own them. You no longer have control of them. And you can't get them back. And I believe at this point, I think I noticed that I am over a cliff, and I couldn't dig any deeper. I was gonna dig a big hole and then plant my tree, and then I was gonna go out and look for caves and stuff to spelunk in. But it didn't work out. I thought that I would have to get up and move somewhere else. I decided to be bold, and then swiftly we will be paying for it. But anyway though, so guys, yes, if you ever get in a situation where your videos are content ID'd by a big company or for a big company, delete the videos. Don't keep them, because it'll hurt your entire channel. Things could go nuts for everything that you've got. Like, it doesn't matter how much stuff you do or how much revenue you produce. If you're not, like, contracted with YouTube, you've got nothing going for you. They're not gonna look out for you. They don't. Just believe me. Their system has gotten worse and worse over time. They're not any better than when I started. They're worse. It used to be that when you contacted YouTube support, they would sometimes hold conversations with you. Now they never do. Maybe for some people, but I've never had them actually talk to me. There's just a lot of stuff. The terms of use are all squared away now. Like, don't think that YouTube doesn't know the laws. They know them. The terms of use they circumvent the laws so that YouTube will never be viable, whatever it is. They will never be liable for any kind of abuse of copyright. And, yes, I believe this is where everything went south, is when I couldn't see, and then, oh, no. Soon, things will go very south. One of the things that I should point out is that actually on our server, we are using an algorithm that makes spawning more proficient, or it's more efficient, you could say. It's actually get the same amount of spawning, but what the algorithm does is it looks for places where monsters can spawn near to you, and then it spawns them where they can reach you. It actually won't spawn them like in caves or things like that if they can't run up and grab you. So I tried to leave when I really should have just tunneled forward, which would have been safer, and then, like, I don't know, blocked off the path behind me. But I decided to make a brave run for it, because I thought to myself, I'm gonna have viewers, people are gonna want to see this, and then, So that puts me, Daniel, and Binlal all killed within the first 16 minutes or so of this video. Not so great for us. This is the second area, the ice world. That there is snow, if you couldn't tell. And we're in a lapis building, which I built this one. I'm very proud of it. It's very pretty. And right away, bad luck. There's Daniel. And Daniel has already got like some stuff established because he died right off. He was first. Binlal was killed by Daniel as well, for kind of the same reasons. I think we just spawned too close to each other. I think Daniel said that he spawned somewhere and then ran off and found Daniel. And I ran. I thought maybe he might lose his nerve and go back for it, but I think that my running probably just like a dog. He just chased me. I think that part of the problem was also that the entire place is just a flat plane of ice. And that was actually something that some of the guys didn't like, is they just commented on there, there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do, like, you're just trying desperately not to starve to death. I would have given anything for a rainforest at this point, because I'm pretty good. I could climb through the trees, I could escape, I could jump, and maybe, like, go run past creepers and hit him in the face on my way by to piss him off. Something, just anything to get Daniel off of me, but there was nothing on a plane of ice. And actually, this wasn't intentionally designed as a plane of just ice. When I set it up, I think that we wound up on, like, an island, and then somehow wound up in an ocean. And, see, I tried to save myself. I thought maybe if I jump in the ocean and risk drowning beneath the ice, like, maybe Daniel will turn back, he won't go for it, but then I wasn't sure where I was gonna go, like, because I could break the ice and then he would just hit me. And so I might get some air, but yeah. So, first PvP event, it was a bit short-lived for me, but we had 4 other guys who made it all the way through to the end, and they've got a second round, or actually rather a third round in some of their cases, coming up. And for that, I won't have my own personal video, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to compile everything and make a really fun commentary for it, something a lot more in-depth and coordinated than this. This, in fact, is actually something I put together just because Kenza went out of town, and I did an interview with a guy, kind of, or was going to do a video with a guy, and then he couldn't get me the lines in time. So, you know, this is kind of a last-minute thing. But, yes. Yeah, so, to wrap up, too, on that stuff about copyright, it's one of those things, I just wish that YouTube would treat me like an adult and just be very forthcoming about what they're doing. Like, I don't think it's really very ethical, but if they just flat admitted to me, they were like, it's really more about politics than it is about the law, it would be a lot less frustrating, because then you'd at least know that, like, you haven't broken any laws. Yeah. But, I don't know. It's strange But anyway, though, yeah, next week I should have like an actual prepared video with the scripts and jokes and everything else. But yes, until that time, I will catch you again, ladies and gentlemen.